ऐ वतन तूने पुकारा तो लहू खौल उठा, तेरे बेटे तेरे जांबाज चले आते हैं। कश्मीर पर आपकी जो जज्बात हैं, यकीनन सभी लोग जो यहाँ पर बैठे हैं उनके जज्बात भी वैसे ही हैं। तो हम लोग प्रोग्राम में आगे बढ़ते हैं, हमारी लास्ट प्रेजेंटेशन है, लेकिन उससे पहले मैं एक अनाउंसमेंट करना चाहूँगा। अब मैं एक अनाउंसमेंट करना चाहूँगा। जैसे मैंने कहा था कि प्रोग्राम के बाद आप प्लीज़ तशरीफ़ रखिएगा, हम बैलेटिंग करेंगे 3 लैपटॉप के लिए, और उसके बाद एक बहुत अच्छी हाई टी का आपके लिए बंदोबस्त किया गया है। तो प्लीज़ आप लोग उसमें शामिल हों और हमारे साथ शरीक हों। तो अब मैं दरख्वास्त करूँगा we have a guest speaker from US, from Purdue University, USA, Dr. Paul Ebner, and his presentation is on the role of poultry in the food security. और ये बड़ी मतलब इम्पॉर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन है, और आप ये देखें कि यहाँ पर आपको जितनी अच्छी इंफॉर्मेशन एक जगह पर मिल रही है, आप अगर ये 10 किताबें भी पढ़ें तो आपको ये इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं मिलेगी। ये लेटेस्ट रिसर्च के ऊपर बेस्ड है, इसलिए बहुत गौर से सुनिएगा।
Congratulate everyone, the conveners, the organizers. The private sector, and I especially want to recognize the students. Your role in these conversations is critical. These are huge challenges that you've seen from the past presenters, and the students will inherit these challenges.
सब लोगों की समझ के लिए इनकी जो स्पीच है उसके साथ साथ ट्रांसलेशन भी है, तो इसलिए प्लीज़ गौर से देखिए, सुन लीजिए, और अगर कहीं समझने में क्योंकि एक्सेंट में बाज़ का प्रॉब्लम होता है तो साथ में उर्दू तर्जमा भी है।
So like I said, these are very big challenges that you've seen, and I work with students every day, and I'm confident that students are up to these challenges. I work with Pakistani students, including those in my lab in the United States, and I know that they are up to these challenges. So I'm going to talk a little bit about food security. I'm going to talk about it in a U.S. context, not because the U.S. poultry system is the best or one to emulate, but it's one I'm familiar with, and it has a lot of factors in it that you'll see in different poultry industries throughout the world. I'm going to start with a little bit of history. This is pretty shocking even to Americans that before World War II, 1930s, 1940s, 50% of Americans lived on farms. So remember that number as we go through. At that time, the United States really did not have a poultry industry. We had people raising eggs. People did not really raise chickens for meat, they raised them for eggs. They may have sold the spent hens to their neighbors, but the meat from chickens was actually an afterthought. Today, the United States produces 75 billion eggs and 9 billion broilers a year. So that change has happened in just over 70 years. So this is what we eat now. This is a radical change in the US diet. And I know the middle animal is not relevant, but it's one of the big 3 meats in the United States. We've gone from, in 1960, consuming 28 pounds per capita of chicken to 2020, an estimated 94 pounds. So like other countries, as Americans have become more affluent, they spend more money on protein. And that has all gone to poultry production. So we've seen in our country a dramatic growth in poultry production. And I want to talk a little bit about why that's happened. And first I want to talk a little bit about why it hasn't happened, or things that have not contributed to our poultry industry. These are data collected from over 600 respondents, and about 50% of Americans think that their chicken contains genetically modified organisms. A similar percentage thinks that hormones or steroids are used extensively in poultry production. I put this slide on because it's very important. There are no GMO chickens, and there are no growth promoters available for poultry production. They are not used. They're not used in the United States, they're not used in Pakistan, and they're not used, I know this, because they're simply not available. So what has led to this? There's a lot of other misconceptions, and we'll talk about those in a second. But what's driven this growth is several factors. The first one is economic. The U.S. poultry system is 100% vertically integrated. So vertical integration, by the most basic terms, means one entity owns two segments of a production chain. So in the United States, both in eggs and broiler production, that is 100% vertically integrated. So that has huge factors on, you'll see how that integrates into several little factors that I'm going to talk about next. So, we don't have GMO chickens. We have rapidly growing chickens, and that has come about from genetics. It's improved genetics that's come about from breeding. Chickens have a very short life cycle. If in a dairy cow, if I want to see a genetic change, I have to wait 2.5 years from the time that cow is born to the time it actually milks for the first time. 2.5 years. Chicken, 7 weeks. So these genetic changes happen and can occur much more rapidly in poultry. We have had huge advances in nutrition, and I tell my classes in the United States that the average chicken has a much, much more well-balanced diet than the average US student. That's down to the amino acid. We know exactly how many amino acids and what types of amino acids these chickens need to grow the fastest and best and be most healthy. We've made huge advancements in biosecurity. The photo on the left shows a farm around 1940s. The photo on the right shows a modern farm. So we've made these advances in biosecurity, preventing organisms from getting on the farm, but also improving diagnostics, knowing what is causing a health problem in the chicken, and vaccine development, knowing how to prevent those diseases. So there's another couple of reasons why chicken has become so popular in the United States. One is it produces a product that Americans want. These are the basic macronutrient profiles of the different types of meat in the United States. So around 1960s, Americans got really conscious about eating fat. And that's when the consumption of chicken really skyrocketed. And it's primarily because it has an exceptional amount of protein, but a lower amount of fat, and specifically saturated fat. And this is one that gets overlooked a lot. There are the number of value-added poultry products compared to beef products or pork products is non-comparable. If you go into a US grocery store and you go to the meat section, you will be presented with hundreds of different types of very convenient value-added poultry products that aren't available with these other meat types. And that figure on the top is pretty shocking that 1950, 85% of chicken was sold as whole birds. I don't know anyone that buys a whole bird in the United States anymore. It's all parts or processed parts. And this one is key. This is the price point for chicken in the United States. This is the price per pound averaged across the carcass. And you can see that chicken is roughly 1/3 of beef. So chicken produces a really nice price point for the US consumer. So I'm going to change gears a little bit, and I'm going to talk about on the global scale. So I'm really fortunate in my job. I get to work throughout the world, and it's really refreshing to see how chicken is used in different emerging economies. For instance, in Egypt has gone through an extensive strategic planning process. In their strategic plan for national development, they want people to eat more chicken. It says right there, eat more chicken, provide more chicken for people. And the reason for that is very simple. It's similar to why chicken became so popular in the United States. Number one, it's an excellent source for protein. Number two, and this is more as important, you can have a great source of protein, but if it's too expensive, it's not accessible. And I showed you the price point graphs that make chicken accessible for a lot of communities. And the third is that beyond nutrition, it also offers, in many cases, an opportunity for economic development. And this is especially true in communities where are resource-poor communities, where in a lot of countries, a lot of communities, women are in charge of livestock production, or have other limited means to income. And this offers those communities opportunities to increase their household income. That happens in the United States as well. We have an aging farmer population. It's a big concern. If I were to get into farming, if I wanted to start a grain farm or a soybean farm, virtually impossible. I would not ever get the capital to do that. The average age of chicken farmers, pork farmers, beef farmers is lower because it's a more accessible market to them. So you don't have to believe me, you can look at the graphs. This is looking at meat production or projections of meat production. In each case, the arrows point to poultry production. And you'll see that as people become more affluent, and this is based on the past is prologue, they will buy more protein. In this case, they will buy more chicken protein. This is true in emerging economies as well as developed economies. So I just want to end just by saying, over the past couple of years, I've gotten more familiar with the Pakistan poultry production, and it's very impressive. It's obviously growing. It's obviously organized. I've been very, very impressed by the collaboration that you see between the universities, the government, and the private sector. We call that the triple helix. And you can look at analyses of economies, and those countries that have a flourishing triple helix are best suited to solve the challenges that you saw in all the earlier presentations. So with that, I would say I just encourage you to keep those relationships great, and thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
थैंक यू पॉल फॉर वेरी इंफॉर्मेटिव लेक्चर। और अगर आपने देखा हो तो 1957 से लेकर अब तक जो पोल्ट्री की ग्रोथ हुई है अमेरिका के अंदर, पाकिस्तान की पोल्ट्री की ग्रोथ भी उन्हीं लाइंस के ऊपर ही जारी है। और आज अमेरिका के अंदर सबसे ज़्यादा खाया जाने वाला गोश्त जो है वो चिकन है। उसने चिकन ने बीफ को, मटन को और पोर्क को और फिश को पीछे छोड़ दिया है। एंड इट इज़ द मोस्ट पॉपुलर मीट। और ख़ास तौर पर उसमें ये सोचने वाली बात है कि उनके पास बाकी मीट जो है वो अवेलेबल है और वो ख़रीद सकते हैं। उसके बावजूद जो है वो चिकन मीट इसलिए खाते हैं कि वो इसको कंसिडर करते हैं बेटर दैन दी अदर सोर्सेज ऑफ मीट। तो अब एक छोटी सी डॉक्यूमेंट्री है और उसमें एक बॉटम लाइन मैसेज है। तो मैं आपसे दरख्वास्त 3 मिनट की 2 या 3 मिनट की डॉक्यूमेंट्री है, आपसे मैं दरख्वास्त करूँगा कि बहुत ध्यान से सुने, उसके अंदर मैसेज देखें कि क्या है और उसके बाद जो बंदा उसका सही जवाब देगा उसको एक इनाम दिया जाएगा। تو ایک سوال پوچھا جائے گا، تو دھیان سے دیکھیے گا کہ آپ کو اس ڈاکومنٹری کے اندر کیا میسج نظر آ رہا ہے. تو یہ ڈاکومنٹری چلائیں اور اس کے بعد پھر آپ سے سوال پوچھا جائے گا.